we have a very, very special day coming up. You know, we have a lot of them during this term. And interestingly, I had none of them had I not had a rigged election. Had the election not been rigged, I would have been out of here. I would have been gone. The radical left would have said, we got rid of him finally. But no, now they have me for another 4 years. We talk about that. And
were you really surprised by this? A lot of people just shrugged it off. Why? Because the trap was set back in 2020 and it worked. And I said January 6th, it didn't happen, but the next one will be taken. It was never a riot or a freak event. It was a psychological operation that shifted the Overton window. The most effective abusers, narcissists, and sociopaths, manipulators often claim something happened to them that didn't at all. They fake crisis, they provoke a defensive reaction, and once they've implanted the lie, any future truth becomes foggy. It's a classic deflection to create an illusion of being wronged, so when you commit the real wrong, people freeze or look the other way. Tropicana fabricated a narrative of a stolen election in 2020. The fiction became the rallying cry for January 6th. It was loud, violent, and televised. And because of it, people have been trained to associate any election skepticism or presidential overreach with the chaos of that day. So when he made the comment on May 1st during his 100th day in office, it slid right under the radar. Why? Because he flooded the space with executive orders, culture war bait, what just happened in that park, and policy shifts. Its strategic overload drowned the public in noise so they missed the sirens. There's a woman who's made over about approximately $500K. That woman was paid to do that. These are paid literal distractions people are getting and they're being rewarded. This is not unlike hostile business mergers, since he's in business, where one side inflates assets, moves fast, and overwhelms the due diligence process. By the time the truth surfaces, the deal is done. And you're holding the bag. In this case, the American people are holding it. And I don't mean all American people. I'm talking about the lower class American people, and who don't have as much equity in this space. And let's be honest, many who claim they're sitting this one out, were you ever actively engaged to begin with? The number of people that I meet who didn't vote ever and don't know who their city council member is or anything. Protesting is important, yes, but civic participation is way deeper than that. Do you vote every year? Because there's always something on the ballot, local, city, and state. Do you even know your city council rep? Do you know your mayor? Do you know your alderman? Do you know your senator? Have you emailed any of these people ever, your congressperson? The grassroots part is pretty serious, because the civil rights movement wasn't just marches and speeches. It was a grassroots movement. Footwork, organizing, door knocking, planning. People who never showed up in pictures because they weren't there to be seen. They were there to do. Not people online giving uninformed think pieces from what they read or researched about. So when I see influencers filming themselves, activating, it feels like branding, not resistance. Real work is not of optics and photogenic opportunities. And let's be honest, some of the loudest ones in the we're sitting it out don't vote at all, don't organize, and couldn't name a single local official. There was a recent election, actually. And that's fine. If you're resting, your choice. But I'm not going to browbeat anyone who wants to be active, because that's their choice. Because not every Black person was actually a part of the civil rights movement back then, nor is everyone a part of it now. Too many of us confuse performative resistance with real power, and manipulators like Trump bank on that confusion. This moment isn't just about Trump, it's about the systems and silences that empower people like him. January 6th wasn't just a riot, it was a distraction. So were all these executive orders, a setup, and now the stage is quiet because the audience was taught to fear noise.